I was on a semaglutide, a GLP-1, for about 4 months, and in this video, I'm going to tell you the 3 reasons why I stopped using it. Before I get into those 3 reasons, though, I want to tell you about some of the positives that I really enjoyed on the GLP-1. This video is not to sway you one way or another. The research on GLP-1s is incredible, and I think everyone should try it if you've been struggling to lose weight. But this is just my story about why I'll no longer be using it. So to start, I want to talk about 2 things that were really great about the GLP-1s. My favorite thing about it was that I had completely lost the desire to drink alcohol. I have a drink here right now, but it's like a nootropic drink, and I'm trying to switch over to those. Dropping alcohol was something that I've wanted to do for a while. For the past 3 years or so, before I started taking the GLP-1, I was a pretty heavy drinker, meaning drinking probably almost every weekend and maybe having a couple of glasses of wine during the week. But I noticed about a month into taking the GLP-1, I completely lost that desire. Not only did I lose the desire, but I was actually repulsed by alcohol. It affected me differently if I did have it, and not in a good way. It was like I didn't get the same effects. On one hand, it took a lot more alcohol for me to feel anything at all, and I didn't enjoy the taste. I didn't enjoy the way I felt. I felt sick or ill when I would drink it. And so I completely lost the desire. I continued to drink initially because it was just habit, like when I was with friends, out socializing. It was just a natural thing to do, but eventually I had to start pushing the glass back, and that was a very positive thing. And that's actually lingering because I just so enjoyed the way that I felt not indulging. And I also have suspected for a long time that the main reason why I drink socially is because I often put myself in social situations where I don't feel 100% not comfortable, but like I'm with my tribe. So I have to drink in order to feel comfortable socializing. And so now, if I'm out somewhere, if I'm with a group and I feel the urge to drink, it's kind of like a signal to me that I'm in a space that I don't 100% belong in, if that makes sense. The other thing that was really great about taking the GLP-1 initially was that it did drastically reduce my appetite, which, duh, that's what it's supposed to do. But it wasn't in the way that I thought. Like, I thought that I would just have a hard time consuming food. I had read some articles and some testimonies of people that said they no longer enjoyed food as much and it was so hard to eat. I did not have that experience. It didn't feel that way. But for those observing me, it was very obvious that I just ate less. So, from my perspective, I was still enjoying food the same way, savoring it, but I was just pushing my plate back a little bit sooner, if that makes sense. So I thought, by taking the GLP-1, I would lose one of my favorite things to do, which is enjoy food, but I did not. I just ate a little bit less, and I thought about food a little bit less, but not that much less because I really, really love food. So those 2 parts of the experience were really good. Um, I did lose weight very slowly. So, like, over the course of the entire 4 months that I was on the GLP-1, I think I lost a total of about 14 pounds. And that's normal for some people. And I wasn't unhappy with that at all. I prefer to lose weight slowly like that, so that I can maintain the loss. But one of the negatives that I noticed was I wasn't able to work out as hard as I did before. So I am a person who actually loves working out, especially strength training. I love to lift, and I love to lift very heavy. I love progressive overload. I love being challenged. I love feeling strong and solid. Um, when I started taking the GLP-1, I had just been promoted into a director role at my company, and I was traveling a lot, not being consistent with my workouts anyway. And that first month, I lost 7 pounds, which is half of the total weight, but 6 of it was muscle. I was devastated. And I Googled, like, how long does it take a woman in her 40s to gain 6 pounds of muscle? And I learned that I can only gain about half a pound per month, and that's with progressive overload and consistency. So I had lost almost a year of progress in muscle building. And I'm a pretty muscular person. Like, I've been consistent for the past 4 or 5 years with strength training. So that was kind of devastating. And I decided immediately that I was going to start being consistent again, at least with my strength training, if nothing else. And so I did that and I started to recover a lot of that muscle. The weight loss did continue, but I noticed that during my strength training sessions, I would get dizzy. I would barely be able to finish my workout. Sometimes I would get so dizzy that I would have to stop the workout and leave the gym. And I came to realize that that was because I just wasn't eating enough to support the muscle building and the strength training that I was doing. And so I tried, shifting the times of day that I would eat. So, and I tried shifting like when I would take the shot. So if I took the shot on a Sunday, I would not work out that Monday because that's when you have the biggest drop in appetite. That's when I was eating the least. So I tried to shift my workout days to the days when I would eat the most. And that helped a little bit, but I just wasn't able to lift as heavy. The second reason, and probably the biggest reason that I decided to stop the GLP-1, is that I stopped being regular in the restroom, if you know what I mean. So it's my philosophy, and this is based on observation as well, that going as many times as you eat every day is the way to maintain a clean system, right? Better out than in. And there would be full 24-hour days where I wouldn't have a movement. And that was very concerning to me. The one thing that every single person with a chronic illness that I've ever known personally has had in common is that they have those long stretches of not going or having a bowel movement. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the feeling that it gave me because keeping things clean like that gives me a sense of lightness. My stomach just feels better. It feels lighter. I feel like when I do eat, I get the energy from the food better. I don't know how to explain it. Comment below if you understand what I'm talking about. But not being regular anymore was very concerning to me, and I felt like I was constantly having this heavy feeling in my stomach, even though I was losing weight. The third reason why I stopped is because I became really sad. And I've gone through bouts like that before. I think we all do. I tried to check to see if it was hormonal, if it was situational, and I would just want to sleep all the time. And I don't know if that was because my energy was low because I wasn't eating a lot. I don't know what it was, but I just felt this sense of despair the entire time that I was on GLP-1. And I had read that some people experienced that, and a lot of times it was attributed to not enjoying food as much, but I was still enjoying food. I was still doing all the things that I had done before, but I just felt really sad and overwhelmed. And I started taking the GLP-1 in November, and I took my last dose in early March. And then my father ended up getting really ill, and he ended up passing away in May. And I think that if I had still been on that GLP-1, I would not have known how to deal with that because that is the biggest loss that I've ever experienced in my life. I was very, very close to my dad. And so I'm kind of thankful that I had weaned myself off of the GLP-1s before that happened. And I was able to lean into family. I'm still leaning into family and friends. And although I'm grieving my father and there's daily tears, I think I would have felt a million times worse if I was still on GLP-1 because I just had that general sense of despair. So those are the three reasons why I stopped, and I reverted back to what has worked for me in the past, which is eating low carb. I've had a high A1C since my second pregnancy with my son. So I know that I'm headed towards pre-diabetes. I know that insulin resistance is an issue for me. And in my experience, cutting down on carbs and sugar and just generally reducing those glucose spikes in whatever way that I can has worked really well for me. And when I reverted back to that in March, within a month, I had lost another 15 pounds. So I totaled 30 pounds. Because I'm back in the gym lifting heavy again and I'm gaining more muscle, that progress has slowed a little bit, but I haven't gone back up in weight, and my overall frame has continued to slim down, and I feel amazing. So, like I said, even through my father's rapid decline in health and his passing, I was able to stay consistent in the gym, which I think really, really, really helped me emotionally to ground me, because my father has been my rock my entire life, along with my mother, both my parents. But I'm so glad that I was able to get my energy up and my eating up so that I could get back in the gym. Um, so that's what I'm doing now. Like I said, I'm no longer in a relationship where I was constantly exposed to a smorgasbord of unhealthy food. So it's been a lot easier to stick to my routines. And, I've done this before. I lost a large amount of weight eating low carb previously. And so I know all the tricks. I know what to drink. I know what to eat. I know what snacks I like. And because a lot of people are dealing with insulin resistance, low carb, low sugar snacks are coming out all the time, and I'm always experimenting with those. If you guys want to understand or see more of what I eat in a day to keep my insulin spikes at a minimum, comment below and let me know, and I'll make another video and show you all my goodies. But that's what I'm doing now, and my energy levels are through the roof. I no longer take as many naps as I used to. I'm still hanging on with a lot less drinking, so I'll have an occasional glass of wine. Like if I received a gift or something from someone of a bottle of wine, or if someone wants to take a shot, I may have one. But overall, I still don't have that desire to drink anymore. And that is working really well for me. So I know everyone has different experiences on these GLP-1s. And like I said, this video is not to sway you one way or another. But if you are experiencing some of the things that I was experiencing, you might want to consider either switching to a different drug, because not all drugs are created equal. You might want to try the tirzepatide. I've seen some other stuff come out as well. But pay attention to those things because they matter, especially if you're a woman who's older, like 35 or above. You don't want to play with that muscle mass. It's so important as we age to have strong muscle mass, especially in our legs. So yeah, that is my GLP-1 story. I can't say that I'll never go back to a GLP-1. It depends on my life circumstances. Like I said, when I first started the GLP-1, I was extremely busy, eating out all the time. It was a little bit harder for me to manage my diet and my exercise. Now things have kind of chilled out, evened out a little bit, so it's easy for me to keep to my routines. But yeah, hope this helps.